afternoon. We're going to call to order the Board of Directors and Annual Corporate Meeting of the Midlothian Chamber of Commerce. Did everyone review the agenda, and does anyone have any conflict of interest with any of the items on the agenda? Hearing none, we will move forward.
Ellie, can you hear her okay with her mask on?
So at this time, I'm going to introduce myself, and we're going to go to the left, and I'd like all the board members, and then anybody present to give your name, your company. I'm Angel Biasotti. I'm with Methodist. I'm serving as chair, and this is my first meeting leading our annual corporate meeting.
Of course, I'm Laura Turpey, and I'm your CEO. Thanks for being here today.
Gerald Bonnell, senior volunteer on the board and also the executive board.
Sharon Price with Arca Media, and I'm Sharon Left, I guess.
Michelle King, I'm the marketing director with Texas Ace Heating and Air, and I'm also on the board.
Jeanette.
I'm Jeanette Underwood. I am the dean of the Midlothian campus of Vera College.
Allie Benham. I am the special events and marketing for the Chamber of Commerce.
I'm Ricardo Del Valle. I'm the plant manager for the Martin Marietta cement plant here.
Marilyn Jones with Hearts and Tails with Hope Pet Rescue.
Judy Bates with the Midlothian Chamber of Commerce. She's our membership director. And over here, Christy Hicks with Pinnacle Bank.
David Kennedy with Pinnacle Bank.
Tiffany Moon, Alice Honey Capital.
Tracy Summers, the principal manager.
You're getting your louder signal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, louder. David.
Sorry, Richard Summers, the principal financial group.
David Hunt with Access Storage. Doug Hunt, Access Storage.
Brittany Guest with Pink Tire and Automotive.
Amy Tuckett with Amy Tuckett Insurance Agency.
Donna Crimmins Palmdale, Methodist.
Brittany Sherry with Speedy Electric AC.
Hi, I'm Lori Lundberg, and I'm the Director of Communications and Marketing for the City of Midlothian.
I'm Casey Chester, Methodist and Wealthy Medical Center.
Eric Porter, Backyard Orphans.
And then I'd like to tell you who we have online.
Oh, yes, that's right. Online, we have April Wood. Oh, well, I'm going to introduce y'all because I don't think they would hear you. April Woods with Bloomfield Homes. We have Stephen Heidelbaugh with Leasing Impressions. Daniel Carnes with Wholesome Lafarge Cement Plant. And Francisco Pinto with Ash Grove Cement Plant. And who did I miss up here? Judy McGraw with Century 21 in the UPS store, and Jeff Buckley with My Father's Shop Automotive Repair. Did I miss anybody? Thank you all for being here.
So at this time, I'd like Judy McGraw to say a few words. She is our outgoing chair. She has been outstanding in her leadership in leading the chamber during this pandemic, and just took over and has made us stronger. We will be doing a formal presentation with Judy in person. We're not going to do that today remotely, but we're going to do it in person at our next event. And we're blessed to have Judy, and I'm just so honored to serve under her and thank her for her leadership. So this time, Judy, just want to hear from you if you have any words for our annual corporate meeting.
I'll keep it short because I don't know if they can even hear me from here. Sorry, I was out of town this week. But just want to thank everybody. I didn't really do anything. It's all the members and our staff and our board. Just hung together this last year. You know, when I took over as chair, I thought, shoot, we'll have some great bylaws and we'll have some fun things going on. It'll be a great year. Well, that didn't quite happen. But we did have a great year together. We helped businesses as much as we could. You'll hear later about a lot of the other things we did, like low rises and different things, just to keep our businesses at the forefront to help anyone we could with giving them information, just whatever. Laura and her staff did a great job finding all those things, keeping everybody abreast of what was going on, and they continue to do that as we
recognize Laura for all of her work that she's done at the chamber this year. It's been a difficult year, but we're very, very strong. Now we'll go to the consent agenda. These are items that are approved without further discussions. Does anyone have any matter in the consent agenda that they'd like to pull off the agenda and put it on the regular agenda? Hearing none, then I'll take a motion to approve the minutes and the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Gerald made the first,
I'll second.
and Michelle second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion's been carried and approved. At this time, from our bylaws, at the regular January board meeting, the chair appoints the nominating committee of 3 members of the chamber. And as the chair, I have selected Doug Hunt, and he's graciously accepted, Steve Heidelbach from Leasing Impressions, and Brad Golden to serve when the need arises as the nominating committee. That chair-elect will be chair of that committee, and Sharon's agreed to lead that committee. So at this time, I need a motion to appoint the nominating committee.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, motion was by Gerald, second by Ricardo.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Gerald Bennell to talk about the financial report. And Gerald, I believe they want you to come up to the podium. Yes, please.
I'll bring Sharon up with me because we're going to do this together.
Okay.
One of the things that Sharon is past treasurer, and I'm the incoming treasurer, so we're kind of doing this together. We formed a budget committee this year, and we're going to be reviewing these types of items. One of the things that we wanted to mention to the ones that look at the financial report, we have gone from a cash reporting basis to a modified cash reporting basis this year. And so some of our numbers, as we came out of last year, look different as we've made that change. A cash modified basis, basically, instead of going to a full accrual, is kind of in between. Our events were showing up where we had a large amount of income coming in for several months, then all of a sudden, here 2 or 3 months later, we had this great big bunch of expenses. And it was kind of hard to relate on a month-to-month basis when we looked at the statement. So by doing a modified cash, you'll see the expenses and the income coming in closer together to give us a more balanced budget as we go through the year. And so it's going to be a little easier to follow. This first year, making look, when we go back and look at the statement from last year, we're going, oh, wait a minute, what happened in December? Or what are these big numbers? But it's where we make the journal entries to get us back in line where we need to go. So as you're looking at the financial statement, that's one of the things you want to look at and understand what's happening there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just made the most sense to us because we had so many events cancel and some of our sponsors had pushed their sponsorships and so many expenses we had paid for last year, but it ended up getting canceled. It was just not the right matching for 2020 that was going to be relevant once those things get pushed to 2021. So we've been wanting to do it for a while, and with the change in bookkeepers, felt like this was the right time to do it. So I think if anybody has any questions, come ask us, we can show you how that works, but I think it's going to, in the long run, be the best method.
It's going to really help us out. You know, one of the big expense items, for example, we were showing income of $40,000 for the magazine that you've seen, the community guidance published, but the expenses were going to come out in January for $12,000. But 2020 had all this income, and all of a sudden we got $12,000 expenses in January with no income. So when we made that adjustment, it really makes a lot of difference, but it really messed up the P&L looking towards the budget from last year. So as you're looking through that, if there's any questions, like Sharon said, please just look at us, find us, and we'll answer your questions and stuff on the financial. But we've been through them pretty carefully and we feel pretty comfortable with them. So we'll leave the report to stand for itself. And if you have any questions, just let us know.
Can you report on the December finances as well while you're there?
You ready to call for a motion or?
Call for a motion to approve the financials as stands.
Yes, I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Thank you,
A
Michelle.
second?
Not second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Thank you. Motion carries. So, now, on to item C. At this time, I'm going to talk about, we've had, last year, we had 2 resignations from the board, and we filled those. We had Tommy Keyhole, Tex Park, and Wayne Stone Law, who moved away from Midlothian, and Kathy Altman with work conflict with her law firm. And we've replaced those with Stephen Crane of Crane Law Firm, and April was of Bloomfield, and she's on the call today. April, we really appreciate you coming on board and look forward to working with you. Want anything more on 2020 overview of the year?
No, on the
Okay.
21st.
All right, at this time, we're going to talk about the bylaws revisions. Gerald, if you come up to the podium again.
One of the things we did in a strategic planning last September, as we went through, we were looking at some of the things we wanted to do. There was a paragraph in our bylaws called for a review and audit. Every so often, we had a CPA doing it. And we got to look at some of the things as we were doing that audit. And there was a couple things in our bylaws that we weren't necessarily following or kind of out of date. They hadn't been changed since 2014. And so we formed a bylaws committee that I chaired. And we went through the bylaws, item by item, line by line, and rewrote the bylaws. Those were brought to the board in August. They were approved by the board. But for the annual meeting, we want to make sure everybody do that. So there is a complete set of bylaws rewritten this year. And as Angela referred to them a while ago, the nominating committee was set up to be appointed in January instead of waiting until the middle of the year when we might need it and just appointed at random. So we've tightened up the controls a little bit with the bylaws. We've listed some things in there we thought were important. Agendas, for example, for committee meetings have to be about 5 days ahead of time to give people notice instead of last minute notices. We've just strengthened what current bylaws we have and rebuilt them a little bit. So if anybody has any questions about bylaws or would like a copy of them, we can let myself or Laura know, and we'll sure get you a copy of them.
At this time, I'd like Sharon to join me at the podium so we can talk about the education.
Hold on. Okay.
Board. I just wanted to report our education committee. Last year, we began the Midlothian Business Plan competition. We had about a dozen entries, and we narrowed those down to 3. We had our first Midlothian Business Plan competition, and Dan Altman won that competition. We do the Midlothian Business Plan to encourage people to begin a business right here in Midlothian. This is our 2nd annual. You'll notice in your packet the flyer for it. We encourage you to pass it around if you're interested in starting a business. It's a great way to get some seed money. We have more than $10,000 in prizes. First place gets $2,500, second place $1,500, third place $500. And first place also receives a package of business services. And even those that may not place first, second, or third, they have an opportunity to meet with the judges and to look at their plan and see what needs to be improved. So we think it's a great opportunity for everybody just to enter. Whether you win or not, you'll learn and get some professional advice on your plan. So if you're thinking about starting a business, even in a pandemic, you can be successful by signing up for this program. And Sharon, we have many, many things on the education committee, and so I'm going to have Sharon step in and talk about the classes and things of that nature and partnerships.
Yes, the education committee is a great committee, full of great people, very, very happy with our committee. We have on the committee, we have representation from Navarro, Tarleton, University of UNT Dallas, John Knight, Angel, and myself. got just a wide variety of backgrounds to focus on educational initiatives. And so in 2020, we began a few things. We started with the Accelerate course through Navarro. It's a continuing education, professional development course to help new businesses get information to start up. We continued that this year, and we're in the middle of that. This coming Tuesday will be our last night of the 4-night sessions for that, so that's gone well. And on top of that, we've also got an entire slate of courses that, while working with our partner Navarro, they've agreed to host here at Midlothian to assist in educating our business owners. And that's listed in here. There's QuickBooks that's coming up next. I know we have a couple people in the room already signed up for that. So these are courses that are going to be taught by professionals right here on the Navarro campus off of Mount Zion Road. And they're very inexpensive. And as we said, if you missed our business breakfast that the Educational Committee hosted at the beginning of January, you might want to go back and pick that up, because some of these are available. Well, they're already low cost, but they can even potentially be free depending on the type of business you are. So if you want information on that, make sure to pick up and view that breakfast that we hosted off the Midlothian Chamber website. But we're very excited to be able to offer these initiatives here in Midlothian, and so we're going to continue to try to bring quality professional development courses to our businesses here. So that's a major initiative that we're excited about.
And also, under the Education Committee is our Leadership Midlothian. If you haven't been through it, we encourage you to go through it. It's an excellent, excellent program. It gets you, allows you to learn about the city, government. This year we have 14 students in the program, and John Knight and Melissa Shook do a great job putting that program together. So we would love, and I want to mention this now, if anybody wants to get involved on the Education Committee, you have an interest in it, please email me and let me know. It's a great program to be in. We'd love to have volunteers, and unfortunately John couldn't be here because he's working on some SBC loans that the Chamber and other people in the city are trying to get, and but he does an excellent job with Melissa for Leadership Midlothian.
If I could make one quick announcement. Also falling under the Education Committee are our luncheons and our breakfasts. And next week's breakfast is going to be focused on COVID funds that you may have received and the tax implications, making sure you report that properly. So that's going to be next Wednesday. Of course, we videotape those, so if you can't attend the breakfast, then you can watch it online. The following Wednesday, we're going to have our first annual focus on higher education. I've got all three of the colleges, Navarro College, Tarleton State University, and UNC Dallas are sending either their president or their vice president to come make a presentation about the college and the programs that they are offering right here in Midlothian. So all of these education programs are intended to help you, the members, and all of the business community to know what resources are available here in our community, what's happening, and the things that you really need to know to be successful. So let us know if you have any questions about business plan competition, the Accelerate Your Business courses that have already started, but we're doing those annually. Of course, the ongoing training at Navarro and Tarleton, chamber luncheons and breakfasts. Just so much falls under the Chamber's education program. It's very, very important to us. All right, Madam Chair.
At this time, I'd like our membership committee to report. If you could come on up to the podium. Can you share the
He says they can't see the podium.
Can't see the podium.
It's on there now.
It's on there now, Jeff. Can you see? Oh, they're only seeing me. They want to see the podium.
Yeah, we're just recording on this one. We'll post it after.
Oh.
It's okay, Judy.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought that the Mevo was going to be recording our faces, but it's not on the Zoom. So you can watch us afterwards. Sorry. Okay, well, let me turn mine. Okay, we'll turn it around then.
One moment.
Hang on.
Technical difficulty.
Okay, there. Oh,
No.
oh. Can you see Amy and Judy? Okay.
Okay, Amy, it's all yours. Take control.
Awesome. Well, I'm Amy, and we put together a very enthusiastic membership committee, so we are very excited. We identified several areas where we feel like we can make an immediate impact on the value of the Midlothian Chamber of Commerce membership. So some of those things, to find out kind of where we want to go, you got to find out where you are. So the first thing that we're going to do is a survey to our memberships to find out what's working and what's not working and where we can make some improvements over the next year. So that is going to go out both electronically and then we'll send it out via mail. And then we're also going to have a powerful call hour that we've got several volunteers signed up for that will also do some outreach there as well.
And that specifically is to members to help them use their chamber benefits.
Yes. So the second thing, and Judy can probably speak more on the system enhancements that we have available to our members. So right now we have a package of membership benefits and what goes with each one. So we're going to revamp the brochure #1 so that that clearly communicates what each level of membership gets. And then these system enhancements are additional benefits that we can put into those packages and then also potentially have a couple of a la carte items.
Yes, so we upgraded our software at the beginning of this year. And so that's going to give us some additional opportunities like including logos on your profile on the business directory online. Some options for coming up first in a search list, things like that. Some things will be included in packages and some things will be able to be purchased individually as an advertising type option. So we're still working out the details of what that looks like, but that'll be rolled out to all members in the coming months.
And then something that we felt like, especially for small businesses like me, we can go to a meeting and pull in a lot of information, take notes on that, and then take it back to our small businesses. But being a 1 or 2 man show, sometimes it's hard to then carve out more time to implement those. Bank is going to be our first sponsor, so thank y'all very much. So bring your laptops, let's figure out how to embed the Midlothian Chamber of Commerce badge onto your website to increase your SEO. So anyway, that is something that we're really excited to do, and we're going to do that on a monthly basis. So look forward to that.
That's step 1 is to get our chamber badge embedded onto your website. So if you want to come to that, number 1, you need to log into your chamber profile. And number 2, you need to know the login to your own website. But then after that, come on to the meeting. We're going to be there to help.
And we do have a technical person coming so she can walk around and help us figure this out and share the information. So that's something fun that we're doing. And then we're going to do the monthly power call hour to personally invite people to those workshops and then do just the retention outreach that we have talked about doing for our memberships. How are you doing? Is there anything you need? Let me personally invite you to this workshop or that workshop. Did you know there's a business after hours taking place? So that's something that we feel like our power call hour is going to do a huge benefit to. And then last but not least, advertising level and above. We have built into the membership a 3-minute video that can be shared on the Shop Local Midlothian Chamber website. So very few people take advantage of this. So we're going to schedule a quarterly time at the Midlothian Chamber office. Come in, let us record that 3-minute video for you, and we will post it for you so that more people who are already paying for this can take advantage of it. Anything else you want to add?
I think you covered it. We're excited. The committee is a great group of folks. We're still building it. If you have an interest
contacts me, we'd love to, we're trying to get a diverse group of small business, medium business, large, different types of industry so that we get good feedback. So if you have an interest, please email me, judy@midlothianchamber.org.
All right, thank y'all.
Good job.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to call on Donna Crimmins-Fennell to talk about our ambassador program. The ambassador program is second to none, and I'd say in all of the metropolitan. And you're gonna hear why it's so awesome.
Can I take this off? I'm just waiting. As Angel said, I am Donna Crimmins-Fennell, and I am truly privileged this year to chair our ambassador program. So let's talk about what went on in 2020. We really, at the beginning of the year, knew that we needed to pull some structure around the ambassadors. We had members who might attend one event the entire year and others who were doing everything. And you know, as a committee, it's very challenging when you work in that type of environment, even though, by the way, everybody is a volunteer, so you want to be cautious the way you do it. So in the very beginning, we went through and decided we needed to set some guidelines. And so that's the first thing we did, was January, February, we worked on guidelines and we passed those through our committee, and they did come for review through the board, by the way. And so currently we have 19 ambassadors, and part of that guideline was to take ambassadors who wanted to join and they were new. You know, in school and various places, when you start a business, many times you're assigned a buddy. So we decided they would be rookies, and we assigned them a mentor. And so that person could help develop our rookies into ambassadors. So you start out as a rookie. In order to move to the ambassador, you had to earn so many points. So everything now in our guidelines is based on points. If you attend a meeting, which everybody must attend one meeting a quarter, by the way, because meetings are important. We do get a lot of information. So in order to do that, you earn points. So there's a minimum amount of points that you must, boy, I thought I was a loudspeaker. So there's a minimum amount of points that you must have in order to stay an ambassador, and there's a minimum amount of points you must have in order to move from a rookie into an ambassador. And they are time connected as well. So we did that. So I'm pleased to say, as of now, we have 19 ambassadors. The 4 rookies we took on last year have moved to the ambassador status, and we now have 4 new rookies. Our guidelines will not allow us now to have more than 25. So I'm hoping you were seeing ambassadors out and about more last year than you have in years past. In addition, we did a little bit of incentive. People need to have milestones to reach and then be celebrated. So we then also, if you had 250 points, then a cup was given to you, a very nice, it's not actually Yeti, but a Yeti type mug with the ambassador logo and chamber logo on it was presented to them. And if you earned 1,000 points, you received a jacket, and I have one around here somewhere. But you received your jacket. That Amy is modeling our jacket, and that is really huge. We had people really wanting to get involved because they wanted that jacket. And we encourage our members, our ambassadors, to wear those to the ribbon cuttings and open houses, because isn't it nice when you take a picture and all of a sudden you see a sea of white jackets with the chamber logo on it? Makes such a nice picture. So they really work at earning that. I want to right now point out a couple of ambassadors. You've met Amy. Aaron Cox is at the back, and he's with Higginbotham. We have Casey with Methodist Midlothian. I want to always say Methodist Mansfield since I was there for years. And then we have Tiffany Moon. Tiffany, what is your business? Ellis County Title. So those are a few of our 19 ambassadors, and Tiffany is this year's rookie. So she is going to very quickly earn her points to move up to the ambassador ranking. We attended 15 ribbon cuttings this year. Remember, this was COVID here, right? A lot of lockdown. But we did get 15 ribbon cuttings in, 2 open houses, and 10 business after hours. So remember, these are working folks who volunteer their time, so that's a lot of activity. They also volunteered at things like the golf tournament, the auction, the chamber luncheons, the breakfast.
This morning helping me
Setting up the room. In December, we were able to, in the freezing cold, stand outside with signs and thank the members, the employees going into work at Methodist Midlothian, and thank them. Those are our heroes as well. And then get this, we made phone calls to all of our members. So all the Chamber Ambassador members received phone calls in April, May, and then again July, seeing how they were handling COVID, if they were shut down, if they had any part of their doors open, what was going on, did they understand the federal guidelines, etc. So we were working with them on that. And then, one that's dear to my heart is, all of a sudden, we decided in September to do a Christmas Spirit project. And so very quickly, a few of us came together, and Amy chaired that. And we got together with the businesses. There were a couple of purposes of that. One, get our shops that were open, get people into those businesses to see your shop so that we can shop local and stop Amazon shopping, shop local. So we were trying to get people in the doors. Two, once you got in the door, you could see the great creativity of businesses developing trees or wreaths, and do a raffle. Put your name in, $5, it didn't matter what it was, you could buy as many tickets as you wanted. It was all coordinated through the businesses. And then all that money that was raised went to Manna House's Angel Tree, which was suffering a little bit this year as well, like everybody else was. And they had a lot more people needing their services this year. And I want to say Pinnacle Bay, Christy and Debbie at the bank, were one of the 26 businesses that participated in that project. And we were so elated to present a check to the Manna House for $4,500, first year we ever tried this. And it was done literally on a shoestring and so fast. We came together, we got it going, and we were able to do that the entire month of November, and in December we presented then all those trees and wreaths to the various people who bought. So we were excited over that. We also have our members sit on some of the committees, the budget committee, the membership committee. You heard from Amy, Wine and Arts, the auction, the golf committee. So our ambassadors really are active and engaged, and that's what we're looking for. We want them wearing the ambassador name proudly, the chamber name, but we want them promoting their business as well. So it's really handling both. And so I'm just excited to be a part of it. We had a great year. Haley, Perth Bush, and Jonathan Douglas were the chairs this past year. And I think we're off to a great start. So, any questions?
Good job.
I know that's fast, but
Great job, Dawn. Excellent job. At this time, I'd like to hear from Michelle King, Midlow Risers.
I don't know.
Allie, the TV.
Allie didn't get you that.
Okay, well, I just briefly, here's what I can tell you from the top of my head, because I've been around and was a part of that strategic planning in those meetings, where it really started with us wanting to look for opportunities and ways to create value, not only for our businesses, but also for the chamber. It is important, just as we market our companies, so too the chamber markets to our community, our business community. And so one of the items we discussed were yard signs. And it's a great idea, and we kind of teetered along what message we wanted to send. We outsourced for some artwork, taking what the chamber's ideas were and wanting to present this yard sign, and a phoenix immediately came to mind. And out of the ashes rose the phoenix. And it has been a champion cause for 2020 because of COVID. And let me tell you, there have been many of us, many businesses, the chamber, employees, who really grinded it out, in many cases still are grinding it out. And this was a way to create a powerful message and value. The chamber is not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We are here to continue to support you despite what is happening all around us. So,
Alan? So Michelle kind of gave us the why. Of course, I've got all of the like data and stats and all that good stuff. I'm going to turn this on because I'm positive I'm not loud enough all the way for the me vote pick up. Okay, so we kind of broke it all down as I was writing out this report into what types of things did we do during the time of COVID recovery and COVID response. And it's been a really long term, so we're really kind of focusing on the immediate response in this type of report. So the first thing you heard from Donna talking about the phone calls that were made to every single member, actually multiple times throughout the year. So that was a big deal. And one of the things we got to do because of those phone calls was connect resources. I know several different stories, but I'll give just a couple. I know we had members that would call us and say, hey, our bank can't get us in to be, our big bank can't get us in to be able to get PPP loan or EIDL loan or anything else in. I have no idea what to do. I've sent my application. I can't talk to an actual person at this big bank. So we got them to connect with local banks that would actually talk to them in person and be able to make sure that they were helped out. So not only did we help our members out, but actually our members helped our members out. That's why we call this members helping members. One of the other things we did was, of course, marketing, just trying to create an online presence for people who may or may not have already had an online presence. So 26 members we added as courtesy members. Many of those have either stayed or just really benefited from those services, us being able to talk about them, put them on our website, all of that stuff. I'll hit that in a second. Then webinars, I listed out all of the webinars we gave, but this gave our businesses a direct line of access to like SBA, SBDC, a lot of different resources they really needed during that time that it was hard to get on a phone call with. So on one webinar, we could get like 30 to 40 businesses on the same phone call asking questions, which was really beneficial. Okay, the webpage, I talked about that a second ago, but we had a lot of modules on the webpage that were really important to us. Restaurants were hit really hard during COVID. We all know that. So one of the things we did was we created a quick search of what restaurants had modified services in what ways. That actually ended up applying to a broader number of businesses than we were expecting, and so we were able to help our community connect with businesses that could serve them the way they needed to be. And then of course we did provide tons of resources on PPP, EIDL loans, grants, all of that stuff as updates were coming up. So and that's still kind of, that part is still kind of come in today. So we get regular updates from like the governor's office and different areas about loans and grants that are becoming available. And so Laura will forward those to us and say, hey, can you think of anyone that falls into this resource? Last week, actually, she sent me one and I knew, okay, there's like 5 businesses in our membership that actually fall under this. So I'm not going to e-blast it out. I individually sent it to each one of those businesses. And they every single one of them responded and said, thank you so much, I didn't even know about this. So that was great. Of course, we have the Facebook group. We have 678 members currently on that Facebook group, and it's still being used to this day.
Specific to mid-low rises.
Yes, sorry, that's specific to mid-low rises. So we created a mid-low rises Facebook group and allowed members to post any updates they needed to. They could post events, they could post all kinds of stuff regarding current events and what was going on, and that still has 678 members, and it's still being used now by
Somebody just joined a few minutes ago.
Welcome.
Yes. Okay, so we did the 4 videos. This part Michelle was pretty heavily involved in as well. So we did 4 videos that we posted in relation to mid-low rises, and that actually got us able to feature 40 different members throughout the Midlothian community. In total, we reached 28,700 views, and that was in partnership with our new member, Ivy Photography. They did a great job helping us. Yard signs, Methodist Midlothian actually got to sponsor our yard signs. Michelle talked about that. And then some events. So in June was kind of when we initially started this idea that we could be in public again, but we needed to kind of mask up and do some social distancing. So we ended up partnering with 17 different events in June that people could be social distance and masked and participate in that would benefit local businesses. So that was 17 different members that we got to help out during the 1 month of June, which was great because we had just gone through 3 months of having absolutely no events at all. So that's all I got.
Thank you so much.
Anything else? Good job.
Thank you guys.
This time, I'd like to call Ross Weaver, our Legislative Affairs Committee.
You're loud.
Thank you. Our Legislative Affairs Committee was formed several years ago with the intent to, first to educate locally and then later to begin advocating on behalf of our local members. There was a challenge we really noticed about 5 years ago that many of our members are not abreast of what's going on in the local political arenas, whether it be the school district, whether it be the chamber or the city council or the commissioner's court on the county level. So we have various members who try to attend those meetings to distill down what could be impactful to our businesses here in the local community. One big component of that is our property taxes. Those 3 entities, make up a fairly significant line item on many of our P&Ls or our balance sheets each year. The more asset-based your business is, the more you get to become friends with those. I'm sure Doug probably has his own representative to lobby for his interest over there at the county offices. So we did add in our candidate forums, which have been a pretty good success. I think, I don't know the exact metrics on how many views we get on those videos or live, but I know they're significant. Allie probably knows them. Or can find them.
Yeah.
This last year was a bit of a challenge, right? Because normally we start right before the early voting and the primaries, right before the primaries, and then March hits, and we go full virtual, and then we have an election that's postponed. All of our local elections that are supposed to happen in May get moved out till November. So we planned and then replanned and then pivoted and then replanned again and then threw it away and started over from scratch right before November. And we were still able to introduce every candidate who was available or willing, either in person or virtually, to our chamber membership. And I think that was a pretty great accomplishment. Donna Bonnell also serves on the legislative committee, and she was very instrumental in helping us to ensure we did it safely, but still got the message across. And I really feel like it's made a difference in our local political arena. I think we're going to have a great opportunity this year as well. The political theater of 2020 has reignited engagement in the political process from a local to a state to a national level. We have several candidates filing for school board races that are open right now. We have several candidates filing for open city positions. And I think we'll have a vibrant candidate forum coming up. The other part of what we do is our legislative series that we put on every August. We begin in January of every year inviting our representatives, our senators, anybody that we can think of, up to the governor or the comptroller of accounts. We want to get the best possible information and then ask them questions and talk to them about concerns that we have here on a local level. And that's the advocacy piece that we're really beginning to develop with the legislative committee. So as a chamber member, leverage the legislative committee. The state's in session right now. You know, every other year they get the opportunity to re-regulate how business is done in the state of Texas. If there's something your business, your industry is facing, let us know about it. We'll research it as a legislative committee and make a recommendation to our board. Perhaps if it's something that's bad for business in Midlothian in general, the board may elect to take a position on it. They may elect to say, hey, we as the Chamber Board resolve this is not good for business in Midlothian, and then we can present that to our elected officials to help them make the right vote for you and your business and for our chamber. So we're always looking for volunteers. As Donna said, there's a lot of volunteers that make the chamber happen. We could use some people. If you're excited about engagement, if the political theater of 2020 has piqued your curiosity, please feel free to join us as we would welcome your help. Thank you.
Good job. At this time, I'd like all the committee chairs to please stand up and let's give them a hand. They really are documents. They're doing amazing work. So please keep standing. Karen, Gerald, Donna, staff. Our next agenda item is bookkeeping. We need to update our chamber bank account, and at the annual meeting, let me turn it up this way, one moment, technical. There we go. For our bank account, authorized signers, Laura, Sharon, Gerald, and myself as chair. That's my recommendation for our authorized signers for our chamber bank account. You need a motion?
Motion. Who made the motion?
Michelle, and then Ricardo second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, motion carries. At this time, I'd like to call upon Laura, who's going to give a report as president and CEO of our.
Me up here.
Oh wait, thank you. Can y'all see her now?
Can you see me? I'm gonna ask my coworkers, Judy Bates is our membership director, and Allie Benham is our special events and projects coordinator. I'm gonna let Judy start, because membership, we're a membership organization, and it's been many, many years since the chamber had a staff person dedicated just to membership. And I felt like it was really important, especially in a year of COVID, for us to be focused on our members. So Judy is going to tell you a little bit about what we did and what the results were, and maybe a little bit about the future.
So in your packet of information, if you look at your add and drop statistics, the first thing we're going to look at is the number of members that we've added and dropped. I'm pleased to say that our number of dropped members was reduced significantly. We accomplished that with just being diligent about reaching out and finding people. Had somebody just about 2 weeks ago, I seriously had called every number that was on their rep thing, couldn't get anybody. I visited their website. I was calling and leaving messages all over historically been. That's partially because they're seeing value in the chamber, so they don't want to just do the minimum. They're coming in at the advertising or above level. And you see the shift in the numbers there with a decrease in the classic membership number and an increase in those levels above. So that's, people see that that being a part of the chamber and taking advantage of the benefits that we are offering and that we are fulfilling for our members is meaningful. We've also, the two hospitals coming in, Methodist Midlothian and then Texas Health in Mansfield, have brought a lot of professional services to us, and those naturally gravitate toward the little bit higher membership levels. So that's all been very good for the chamber. On the last page, you see membership income overall. Sorry. And you see, because we've maintained most of our membership, we see a growing membership. So I skipped the number, sorry. We ended 2020 with 405 members. That was an overall membership increase of 5.5% and a member retention rate of 92.5%. Although, since we bill our 1 month ahead, so our January 2021 members were billed at the end of 2020, so it skews our retention rate just a little bit. But as those folks pay their renewals and get that number, we anticipate will go up. So I think we'll wind up maybe somewhere in the 95% overall for our retention rate, which is good, and I'm excited about. If we look then at our membership income, you've seen that our membership income is growing. We ended the year 167,813. And new members, 2019, you saw a little bit of a bump there that's higher than this year, and that's because we had a new corporate level member come in at the end of 2019, so that skews that number just a little bit. But overall, we've had good growth, and we're happy with where we're going and where we're headed with the membership numbers. One of the other things that we focused on was database cleanup. One of the things we noticed when we started making phone calls is that maybe we didn't have our information in our customer relationship management, CRM system, wasn't maybe as accurate and as updated as we would like for it to have been. So one of the things we've spent time doing, our admin before she was furloughed, and then subsequently we had a summer intern and we have an intern right now. They've spent a lot of time following up on bounced emails, returned mail, making calls to members, and updating information. We've also been very diligent as a staff. If we have someone on the phone, we ask them, is this still your number? Is this still your website? Is this still the right reps on your account? That way we're maintaining that accuracy as we go. I also try to do a robust onboarding process. So if a new member joins, I'm talking to them on the phone and I'm walking through, okay, I see you have a website here, but when I look at your website, you might want to put your chamber badge on, or you might want to make some updates there. It looks like it might be out of date. Do you have social media channels? Let's get those plugged in. Do you need anybody else to add to your representative to add for your business profile? So all those things help increase participation and accuracy of our records. Then we've added some tracking features. Some of the benefits that we offer our chamber members weren't being tracked anywhere, so we had no idea who was taking advantage. So we've added some custom fields to our software to help us keep track of those. And if we see people aren't using things, we can run a report and go and say, hey, let me give you a call and say, I see you're not using this. Did you know we have this option that you can use? Facebook in particular is one that was not being utilized well. So we launched an opt-in where you don't have to send us an ad. You can just say, hey, yes, opt me in, share my page once per quarter. And so we're doing that. And that's super easy for us and for you, because Allie can just skate